In the next couple of months, I'll publish a series of videos showcasing our exact process behind building our first venture. You can always think about, okay, how can I know what my prospect thinks and how can I start positioning, either it's going to be a landing page, a website, or even a whole business around that so that it makes it as easy as possible to understand. Pricing strategy is the core of your business or agency success. No matter if you're doing incredible marketing or sales, if your pricing strategy is not good, you're not going to do anything. Over the past 5 years, we've tested many different pricing models, from actually going ahead and creating custom pricings for every single one of our clients and doing like this puzzle every single time, to actually productizing our service and having a single way, a single place where clients can pay and collecting the cash itself. One of these pricing models almost broke our studio. Most successful businesses have mastered the art of creating a successful marketing website. So that's why in the series Build to Grow, we're going to showcase the exact step-by-step process we're going to be using for a new business, Authority Gorilla, and showcase how you can create the best possible marketing websites which are going to drive revenue for you, for your clients, or for the role you're currently working on. Imagine being the central bank. You just press a button and your website starts generating more money than you ever imagined of. That's how I want every single one of our businesses to work. To have a standardizing pricing model and to generate money and to generate really good services for our clients. But it wasn't always that way. I'm gonna show you how we made mistakes and nearly destroyed our studio, Flow Ninja. When we started the studio, we started the usual route. We started like project basing and like sending estimates based on the projects. We didn't know how much our team was costing. We didn't know how much our studio like in operations were costing. We just had an idea, hey, 5K is a lot of money. Let's go ahead and charge that for a specific project. So that went on for way too long, I think. We were giving wrong estimates. Sometimes we were giving like estimates in plus, sometimes in minus, but we didn't have any data to work with. So we were just guesstimating. When we do kind of have a pretty bad month at the studio and we don't have enough cash flow, we didn't have any idea. And the only way out was to go ahead and work more. But that doesn't have to be the case. After that, we tried going into value-based pricing. I know there's a huge community on YouTube about value-based pricing and that you should charge value-based, but honestly, it might be due to us, but we didn't know how to do so. We had one website for a client which was 20K, and then they refer a friend. Maybe the friend received $100 million investment, and like technically the website is gonna be a bigger value for them. And when we sent out basically an estimate which is gonna be 50K, they were like, why are you charging this money? Is it because we raised funding? And it started to create a lot of tension that we just didn't know how to deal with. I'm sure there is a way to explain everything, but we just didn't want to go that way. That value-based pricing also started kind of crippling our sales, and like we started getting more and more declined offers. With all of this, we managed to go ahead and kind of spin everything around and create a 7-figure studio which is successful, which is cash flow positive, and which generates revenue month after month after month by just implementing the productized service model. So let's see how would we do it if we start from scratch on the business example Authority Gorilla. Be sure to stand until the end of the video to see an additional mistake that we've done that we're not going to be covering in the presentation itself. In order to go ahead and figure out how we should price our product, we went ahead and of course pulled out a whiteboard. I usually like to write things down. I don't like to write them like in notes. So that's why we're going to be just covering kind of everything you should know before you price your own freelancing services, before you price your business services, SaaS business services, or anything of that matter. You can cover basically anything. And usually this is forgotten, and we've even seen clients come to us where they don't know what their pricing is going to be. So that's why I think it's important for us, like in the Build to Grow series, to go ahead and cover how you should price everything. So I went ahead and outlined here which are going to be the costs. So we're going to be having the team costs, software costs, utilities, and promotions and time off. When we did start the studio and like when we did it project based, we didn't account for any of these on the bottom. So we just accounted for, let's say, the copywriter. We didn't add the team lead, project manager, and like all of the stuff above. We were like, if we charge 5K per project and our developer is 2K per month, we're 3K profit. But we were losing money in the end, and like we needed to have like our service be more expensive in order to actually make money from it. So that's why in this case, we're going to be covering the team, software, utilities, promotions, plus some additional things on the side. So in our case, let's see. So like the copywriter is probably going to be like around 2.5K. And I'm going to give like random numbers. These are not the numbers for directly Authority Gorilla, but just kind of to see how everything is working. Then based off of that, we're going to have copywriter 2.5K, project manager is going to be like 2K, team lead / SEO consultant is going to be 5K. So you can see like our business just become pretty expensive. Like again, not real numbers, but for you to identify that like it's gonna start becoming expensive. Then softwares we're gonna need to use in the business, Like, and if you have a SaaS business, you're probably going to use external third-party tools. Like, you need to calculate that based on the users you want to have. Like, if you're a freelancer, you're probably going to be using softwares. Let's go ahead and here add Ahrefs is going to be around $250. AI tools around $100. Email and Slack for these people is going to be like around $50, something like that. Then additionally, if you're alone, like, it's probably going to be your living costs. But in our case, we do have an office, and like, I love like having people having a place where they can come, like they can be basically remote for a period of time and then come to the office and kind of hang out. Based off of that, if we add 1K for the office, 500 for the snacks, we do like to throw parties at the office, so like I just always like to add some random costs you're probably gonna encounter and that you're not gonna be even understanding that they're coming from the business. And then let's add also miscellaneous costs, which can come up like I don't know, you might go to a hotel like a business trip or something like that once per month or once every few months, but like it piles up and like it's an expense. So just try to add as many different random things you can think of which are going to be coming up to the business itself. And then the most important thing are promotions and time off. When you hire somebody, like no matter what their salary is, you need to have their career path. So they're going to be getting a bigger salary next month, a bigger salary maybe in 3 months or something like that. So you need to identify for that. And also, they're not going to be working for the whole year. So probably for, let's say, 10% of the time, they're not going to be working. So as a safe start, we can maybe get 20% on top of everything here just to identify, hey, how much we need to have additional money in order to keep the business running when people are away, when people are sick, when people have babies, like it's going to happen. All of this combined is, let's say, around 12K, something like that, plus 20% is going to be like around 15K per month. In the ideal scenario, like our business is gonna be costing us 15K per month. And like, even if you are starting a business and you just have a copywriter, make sure to also account for these items, because it's probably gonna be really hard for you to go ahead and increase the prices. So if you're the only one doing everything, just try to identify how is my ideal business looking like. So in the next 3 years, I'm hoping to have a designer, QA, team lead, or whatever, or in our case for this, or let's say if you're building a SaaS tool or anything like that, how much team members you need to have in order to cover for the development and the research and development of the SaaS tool itself. So just try to add everything and see kind of how much your business costs are going to be when you have everybody on staff that you need. It might not be everybody currently. You might have 5K expenses because you just have the team lead and that's maybe just you, but you're going to add these 2 people to help you out into the future. So you need to account for that. Then the next thing is going to be the goal. So let's say imaginary that we have the 50K as a goal for the business itself to generate the revenue for that. And these are the potential packages that we're going to be selling. We're going to see what we can deliver in those packages, and that's going to be more on you to identify what you're going to be delivering. But if we have 1K, it's going to be 50 clients. If we have 2K, it's going to be 25 clients. If we have a 5K project, that is going to be 10 clients. And we have 10K projects, it's just going to be only 5 clients.
2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3, quick maths.
So in the ideal scenario, we're going to sell something for 10K. But that's all going to depend in the end on your network. I really like doing this just because it's going to identify, can I find 5 clients which are going to pay me 10K? At the moment, probably not. Okay, let me try to identify, can I find 25 clients which are going to be paying me 2K? I can, but then I probably need to have 2 project managers. I cannot have 25 clients and a single project manager and maybe even 3 project managers. And then I'm going to need to have additional copywriter, which is going to kind of add overheads to the business itself. It's going to reduce your revenue and reduce your profits. And in the end, you might deliver a worse service just because you added that much overhead to the business itself. So just try to go play with the numbers and try to identify what makes sense for you to deliver an exceptional service for the customers while still being realistic with your expenses and with everything like that. And when we have everything, we're gonna come to profit first. It's a book I really loved. It also saved our business because accountants can from time to time really trick you into thinking that you're successful, but you spent all of your money into something which is not a business expense. Just try to identify, okay, we're gonna have 20% profit for the business, we're gonna have 15% profit for me, and we're gonna have 15% for the government. This can be a higher number, it can be a lower number. These are the like industry standards. You can always increase or decrease this with time, but it's gonna give you like around 50% profit margin that you need to have in order to cover profit for the business, to reinvest back into the business, profit for you and your salary, and also for the tax ban. And then based off of that, we saw that we have 15K operating cost. Our product is, let's say, go ahead and pick the 5K product. So it's gonna be the 5K product. So this is gonna be 15K, and we're gonna need to have 50% profit margin. So we're gonna need to have around 30K per month, we're gonna need to have like around 30K per month before we get to our 50% monthly recurring revenue, and before we think, okay, our business is successful with these amount of people that we're having on the business itself. In this case, we're just gonna need 6 clients here. So that seems pretty reasonable, and that's how we can identify the pricing. With all of this combined, you're gonna be able to identify how much should your pricing be. So let's say you identify 5K, and then you can streamline down what you can deliver for those 5K, and you have a single metric to basically explain to the clients. So it might be, I mean, it's probably gonna be that first time you're gonna think that you can deliver many more things for 5K, but it's a simple metric. Next time when a next client comes, you're just gonna change your pricing, you're gonna deliver a little bit less things for the new client, while you're probably gonna be maybe losing money for the first one, but you have a single metric you can track for your whole business. After all of the learnings from the presentation, let's see how did we create a pricing model and see this in action. For Authority Gorilla, you see it's still on .webflow.io. It's gonna be live soon, so that's what we're covering. Like in the next video, we're also gonna be covering the design itself. We went with a two-tiered pricing model. So we have a one-off pricing, which is probably going to be increasing with time, and we have the SEO implementation, which is going to be an ongoing rate. So that's where we identified that first we made the first mistake of trying to go ahead and create 3 different tiers where clients are just going to be subscribing and going on an ongoing rate, but not everybody needs a monthly SEO maintenance. Somebody needs a strategy, they have an internal copywriting team. Somebody needs 1 blog post per month, but they can cover 3 blog posts. So we wanted to give as much flexibility to our clients, but still have the exact numbers that we just shared. So we identified that we want to have around 30K monthly recurring revenue from the business. We identified our costs. We identified that the product is going to be, usually we're hoping to have like the product be around 5.6K. So that leads us to selling around 6 clients, which is pretty reasonable. We've worked with like almost 200 websites at the moment, so we do have a pretty big client pool we can tap into. And on the other side, we're hoping for that to go ahead and convert to the monthly recurring revenue, so that we're going to be basically having implementation for the SEO services themselves. You can see how everything we just described, we identified, hey, we're going to need to sell 6 clients. That's possible. Okay. The pricing is going to be 5.6K one-off. So we have a pretty big client pool to basically sustain that maybe for 6 months without doing any custom marketing or like investing on that front, but just tapping into our own market. And then like the final piece is going to be, a lot of those people are going to be converting to the 3K per month plan, where we're going to be doing implementation, and we can handle around 10 clients by keeping the same team that we currently have. So with all of these combined, we do have like around 50% run rate, where if we have a bad month, if we have anything else, we can cover the team expenses and we can still make the profit. Of course, all this will change, and probably if you're watching the video like in 3 months or 4 months and you visit our website, it's probably going to be changing, just because pricing is an ever-changing thing. But the important thing and the important topic you need to understand from this video is that you need to have metrics, and that you need to kind of keep those metrics, like from operation costs to kind of profit margin, and like having something for you, having something for the studio, and having something for the government in the end to pay the taxes. And that by having like in our case, let's say 2 pricing models, like for this business, we can just go ahead a little bit higher, a little bit lower, and we can adjust our profitability without any custom fluff on top of that. And before I go, the final tip is don't copy anybody's pricing. We also were on that road. So like additional mistake we've done is like we see a successful agency and their pricing, and we basically just go ahead and plain copy it into our business because it has to make sense. But you don't know their business. Like they might be drowning in debt, and like they might not be making any profit, or on the other side, they might be super rich. But before you understand your operating costs, you're not going to be able to do anything, and you're not going to be able to create a successful pricing plan. So get out a piece of paper and a pen and start writing everything, and kind of start identifying how much should you actually charge based on your current state. Until the next episode of the Build to Grow series, you can press the like button below and subscribe to our channel to follow us build a business from the ground up.